Good morning and welcome back to the channel. So this video is going to be a little bit later than the 8 a.m. normal that I do every single day because I just recorded the whole thing, and what happened was I didn't select the right mic input, so it wasn't actually picking up any mic. And then when I went to play it back and finish editing the video, it literally came out as a big hissing noise for 40 minutes. So I'm soldiering it out. We're going to record it again, and we're gonna hopefully get this up for you guys by 10 a.m. because I want you to be able to play this throughout the weekend. It was a ton of fun, and it was inspired by something that my buddy Prodigy was playing. He sent me a deck with Radovid and a bunch of shields, and then I thought back to what you guys said in the comments a few days ago when we talked about the rework or the fix on Radovid, where you guys thought it was in Shield Wall. It would be a good fit there. Now, this is sort of my interpretation of Shield Wall at its finest, with everything that gives shields and takes shields off and all that sort of stuff. And I like it quite a bit. I've seen other versions with Igni, I've seen other versions with Heatwave, I've seen other versions with Quen. Again, I like to keep things a little bit different here. We got the double duels instead, boiling oil for control, and just great point slams. I don't have Quen, but if you find that the consistency is not good enough, you can go ahead and you can take out maybe a Dahlia and add Quen. I think we really want to keep the duels in this matchup because we like having the duels with shields, and we have no shortage of those shields. So again, that's something that I don't think I'm willing to compromise, but you could go and take that Quen. I've also seen trials of grasses or glasses added to the deck as well in some instances where I think that would be pretty good here too. It's just I didn't really find the right spot to put something like that. I kind of like the Vindholm instead of, you know, just trying to tech in one of those, because at least we can tutor that card, and honestly it gets out of control if it's not handled. So here we have it. First game's Ursine Ritual Skellige, and again, they have super big tempo, so I'm coming out swinging here with the Immortals and the damn Sorceress, and let's see if we can really take this on even in round 1 and really apply some pressure in round 2. And the deck plays a lot in the way of, like, Kelly, for example, because we're really looking to abuse the coin if we're going on red. If we're going on blue, we have the ability to tempo pass and maybe just take round that way. But then we have cards like Siri that are going to help literally get card advantage later on in the game. So, crazy stuff. I've seen other versions with other resilience cards in them, but I just felt like, you know, I wanted to have more control. Getting Mushy Truffle out here. They're really trying to take the shield off the Immortals. Excuse me, I had to sneeze. Got the second coffee of the day. Hopefully you guys have some time to just kind of hang out this weekend and take it easy. I know that's what I'm going to be doing for the most part. I was happy with the amount of effort that I put into getting back in the gym and, you know, giving it a good honest effort, and eating healthy this week. So I don't mind just honestly cramming some Gwent, making a couple videos. Hopefully you guys give this deck a try. You want to just play something relaxing on the weekend, this deck's great for that. Just you put down cards and watch them grow. It's awesome. And I got myself a little treat. I know it's probably not like even the best for me, but still it counts. We got like some ice cream. It's like no sugar added. Trying to justify it by that. A little caramel drizzle. No sugar added. It's got the artificial stuff, but you know, for what it's worth, when I have the artificial sweeteners, man, I don't even want to eat it as much. So like, it's easier to control my portion size. Otherwise, I just cram like a pint of Ben & Jerry's and that's it, right? But yeah, man, ice cream, Gwent, coffee, and probably get flamed for this, but Call of Duty Vanguard, they got a weekend event going on, and I was pretty dialed. I was pretty dialed yesterday. I dropped 130 kills in a game. It was nuts. We went 130 and was it 40? Yeah, it was like a PR. Anyways. You see what we're doing here? We got the 4 points per turn off the Damn Sorceress and the Immortals. We got the 2 points per turn off the, I think it's called Vinholm. I'm pretty sure. That 8 power on the back row. And then of course we have everything set up with the Witcher, so that when we put down the Keldar, potentially, then we have obviously those flipping every single turn we're flipping, right? Getting the other 4 points per turn there. But I do like to kind of save Keldar for a different round. And I'm looking at their board management here, and they're running kind of low on space. So take that in mind here. Another thing, I don't know if you guys realize, but the siege support on the back row, the far right, that has the ability to reduce a cooldown. So if we're not using it to boost something by 1, we also have the ability to take that cooldown and maybe just refresh the cooldown on the Damn Sorceress and then get 2 removals in 1 turn of a shield if we have enough to go around. So that's also like another play that you have available to you. I want to play into the round, but I don't want to necessarily, you know, commit too much here. I think Keldar is probably best saved for later. They only have 1 board space left. So that could just be a potential overswarm here, and we're up by 16 points, so it required them like a heat wave or something to get back in the round. So pushing it there, you see the greed that we have on our side, like no respect for Igni, no respect for Yurden, no respect for heat wave, Morkvarg, any of that. No, we just play boost and we pray. That's it. So we have a really good round 2 setup. We can either bleed or pass on it and get the card advantage for round 3, but I think in this case we do try and bleed. And something else, question for you guys. I don't know if it makes a difference, but it's important to me. So there's like on Discord, they have a built-in app called Crisp. And when I'm using Discord calls, like it basically adds noise suppression to your calls. Now, I paid for a membership for 1 month, and it's like literally $10, $12 just to like make your mic sound better, like noise suppression. My membership expired. I don't know if I want to renew it because I don't know if it makes too much of a difference. I feel it makes a difference, but like, let me know, guys, if you hear too much like lip smacking and breathing and stuff like that. And if consensus is that I should get it back, I'll just go ahead and get that back. Because I tried to add like a noise gate after recording, and it makes me sound a little washed. Like it doesn't do my voice justice. It doesn't make it sound as real. And I find when I don't put it, it just sounds fine. And that's not a sponsor, it's just a question. Always looking for ways to make the content better for the channel, right? And seeing stuff like Blue Boy and Cirrus come out, that's huge for round 2. We don't have to worry about that crap later. And we can just go ahead here and maybe trade a bronze or something like that. Or even while we have Defender still up, we can look at replenishing our leader with the Radovid, which is kind of nice. And do they get the snipe? They do. Damn, eh? They really don't like Keldar. Now, seeing the full leader commitment's actually really good for me because now we don't have to worry about that 6 points just coming out of nowhere next round. I feel pretty comfortable playing this, playing the Centurion, and just taking that carryover of leader and going on to round 3 with that.
Don't you pester me. Let's not get in the way of the axe.
I'm glancing over like every 2 minutes to see if it's still recording here. We're good. Okay. If you guys have any recommendations for the next video, something that you want to see, something that you've been trying to play that isn't working out for you and you want maybe a second look at it, let me know in the comments below. I'm taking requests, and let's see, I got room for like 5 requests over the next week. Because I like doing requests, but sometimes I like playing just whatever I think of when I sit down that morning. And ta-da, you know? That's how the best decks come about. Just the impulsive ones. Like, I really feel like trying to make this work, you know? I think we played most of the new cards, and I think a lot of the hype surrounding a lot of the new cards has kind of, it's fizzled, you know? I like the place where Radovid is in this deck. I find he's very helpful, good for 10 provision, but not overpowered. Like, in the whole Uprising deck, it was just too strong. It was just too messed up. Like, this is where it should be, and this is where he belongs, for sure. Other leaders, you could probably make them work too, but Shield Wall is just impressive. And you can even keep it Devotion too. I thought about doing like an old school Shield Wall as well. You know, with the Frigates and all that. Varaxis, you know? Visigoda. That could actually be nice. I like doing a commitment check following the rounds. Just sort of counting provisions here. That's what I like to do. I would recommend that if you guys are newer to the game, you do provision checks. I mean, I've played for like 2,500 hours and I'm still doing provision checks. I think it's important to see how much you can expect them to have left. And no respect for Heatwave, nothing. Let's take it, see how it goes. Do they have the means to remove the Ciri? That's like a win condition here. Well, it's a helpful condition here. I think we have a pretty good hand to win the game without it. So I think we got him puzzled here. I don't know if they have the means to remove it. Okay. So it doesn't mean they don't have a heat wave or something. It just means that they decided not to use it yet. They know we don't have a defender, so that's why they might have just waited. Now, I kind of want to wait till the priest gets as tall as possible before I try and duel that out, because we want to take away value from them, right? They put that down early to get the most value out of it. I want to keep as many damaged units as I can on their side. You know, just let it hit that down to even a 1, and then we'll just duel it out when it's tall. We have shields for that. And I honestly think one of the reasons why Radovid's so good in Shield Wall are the duels. It's not the 2 points that the shield gives. Okay. So this makes us sort of have to pause a little bit. If they have a Giga Scorpion, the Ciri on the back row dies here with the rain. So I have to go ahead and take a pause here. I wanted to take the duel, but when we put up the shield like that, it's going to actually prevent us maybe from getting any sort of impact from the blue boy anyways. So it's one of those things where you have to kind of play a little safe. And Nilfgaard coming down on Ciri tells me that I guess they don't have an answer with a heat wave or anything like that, because that would have been the turn where they play the heat wave. Now we can safely go ahead and play Selkirk. Give it a shield here. Keep it nice and strong. We're going to be looking to duel out the priest. And pulling into the duel, wow. Perfect. And we got 2 cards to make up the points here. We can basically go and flip Ciri for the 2. Okay, we'll just duel it out first. Flip Ciri. We can even put Varaxis or Onseus on range for the formation to get the extra points for the duel. And I'm just kind of looking in deck to see what we're going to pull here. Whoops. So I think it's actually the same amount of points if we take the damn sorceress or the Ragnar, but again, we're taking Ragnar for the content. It looks cooler as a finisher, and we don't really care what we duel out. We already won the game. I'm just showing you guys how the points were there. Big win, pretty comfortable. Moving on to the second game. This one's going to be a little bit interesting because we remember that, you know, for the last several months, guys, Reckless Flurry has been the meta, and it's sort of now coming to a point where it's phasing out from that being, you know, one of the only suitable options for Skellige, with Pirates being so strong right now. Druids had a lot of support. The self-damage Berserk archetype got a facelift. Like, there's a lot of things that are really coming back for Skellige, so we'll see how Reckless Flurry can compete against this. And we might as well start off with putting them in an awkward position, putting up Siri, boosting it. I don't want to put down Defender first because I think that they might pass on it, but I do know that this requires a Morkvargan leaders, or it requires a couple leaders and a Junod, or it requires a Heat Wave, you know what I mean? Or it requires an Axie and full leader. So I'm kind of waging that and saying, alright, no matter what they play here, I think we're trading pretty even. And sure enough, couldn't resist. And I don't know how much we mind, because I do know that the leader in this specific matchup, although we do recuperate some of the points when they remove certain things, you know, it's obviously not preferred that they start pinging off our shields and kind of ruin our cooldowns with the damn Sorceress Immortals and that kind of stuff, right? It's also a nightmare for the Vindholm, so
We shall do it my way.
hopefully they don't get a crazy burner.
Not get in the way of me,
And not gonna lie, when I saw this here, there was like a little bit of raised blood pressure. There was like a little bit of panic, but we still have a long round ahead of us to get points here. We got 4 points per turn off these 2 engines here, and then we can look to put something down like the Vindholm next. You know, and then we have the Kedwenny for the extra synergy there, so we don't have the Immortal get too tall. There's a lot of different options here. We can give more shields if they get popped. The hand is good, but our hand is not, like, too strong that we can't play it, you know, down to pretty much nothing at this point. I'd like to try and save a duel, though. Champions charge for 5 points and a leader. Now that, I guess they realize that with this matchup, it's probably not going to see much more than 5 points with all the shields and green health, so I get it. Might as well Amphibious out and get that real quick, because we kind of need that to continue our play throughout the round. Even though it's a little bit slow, it doesn't really put us ahead right now. That's fine. Their whole leader's exhausted. We basically have 2 leaders, so I'm feeling pretty good about that exchange at least. Holy crap, Morkvarg coming out and everything. I think Morkvarg probably would have been better saved for like later in the round.
We shall never surrender.
Just so they can get more return off of it. Now, I wasn't really anticipating Junod to come next here, but that's just something that we got unlucky with. The way we could have played around that easily would have been just to use a leader charge on that. So if you guys are playing the matchup, remember that line specifically. That maybe you want to go and you want to leader that real quick.
Come on, one of you must know the answer, surely.
So now I have to make up for the points that we just lost in the big swing for them, and we have to go ahead and do something like that. It's not ideal, but it is what it is. I want to see if they have like Trial of Glasses. Whoops. Gotta mute the phone here. Every morning at 8 o'clock it sends me the weather. Let's see.
The windmiller hit you.
Minus 4 degrees Celsius. And it's gonna snow.
How dare you throw swine? No, the pendulum. I'm much better at that.
So we have a pass, I think. Is that gonna be it right here?
My tail
Should be it. 46, 42. We could probably squeeze it for one more turn, because I see a really good opportunity to flip one of the Witchers here. Yep. And all the better, maybe put that on melee and turn back on the engine here. And we can just remove a shield on the Adept. And tons of points, right?
You've got to dodge.
And I see Morkvarg and Junod and Leader, so at this point I'm like, alright, you don't have what it takes to get back in the round, do you?
Last words.
But sure enough, Ouch. Okay, so counting points here. I don't want to go ahead and play Selkirk on an empty board. We have the ability to get 2 points here, not take any damage from rain, and I think that's the way to go about it. They pass here, but at least if we top deck, we have our leader, we have our Selkirk. I believe we have a little bit of an advantage, and if they pass, they have to go first. So it feels like something we're supposed to do. Now, Ragnar's okay. I shouldn't have taken another mulligan here because pulling into, let's say, a Dahlia would have been bad, and it is bad. So that's an issue.
Don't you pester me. Kraken, eat me girly. Looky here. These dogs have no honor.
And we saw Morkvar, we saw Junad, we saw Axie. Did they have a heat wave as well? They got a heat wave. I'm just thinking about what would be the most points in this situation here. I think the Kedwenny is going to be, because if we're ripping the shield off with the Kedwenny, it's going to also boost it by 2. And it's another shield for Ragnar. We have the Dahlia that we can also give a shield to. That's all it's doing, is just playing for 5 points. Mushy Truffle placement was incorrect. So they would have missed maybe 2 points on the boost there. Maybe they should have played that on melee or something, or on the other side of the Skald. Also, I don't know if you take rain that later on, so you lost, let's say they lost 6 points collective here. It still wouldn't have been enough. Tense, close game. Now, some of you guys are probably wondering, okay, well, how's it going to do in the Enslave matchup? Because Enslave's just going to take your best engines and use them against you. Well, let's find out, right? This one's Enslave 6, if I'm not mistaken here. And our hand looks too good. So we have to fix that a little bit. Still too good. I think Ragnar goes. They've got like tourney joust. They're going to be trying to take things. We kind of want to rip shields this round. Hand's still too good.
I demand satisfaction now.
There's like a certain threshold of, okay, how many golds do I want to have in around 1? You know, and how many golds am I willing to spend in round 1 most of the time, right? I find when you start dishing bigger commitments, you're going to see bigger commitments in return, but you know, spending everything just to win on even in 1 round doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Now, we could still go for something, just something proactive here. If they hit it with direct pings, it's going to boost itself. They kind of have to put a joust on in here. Okay. So that's even more incentive to win on even. As soon as they play Yan, like, we want to push it, because if we can win on even, they're top decking into their best cards, and then they have to manage not spending their best cards. And that was an issue that I found when I was playing Enslave at the beginning of the season, before I was seeing a lot of Yan played. I didn't really understand, okay, how hard they can actually bleed you. That's a big play to Joachim into. Pretty lucky there.
Dark clouds gather over Temeria.
Just kind of looking at what I want to take of this case. Thinking about going back in with the Sorceress, but we already have 1 in hand. I don't think we need a second one. Immortals is probably good here, because we lost the shield on the back row, and now we can just sort of start to go and do that. Now, I wasn't expecting a pass.
Salutations.
Normally when you see a Joachim coming down like that, you're expecting that, okay, they're probably going to go into another one, but because the deck's been rearranged, that kind of makes it difficult for them now because they know that if they Joachim, it's going to be pulling into something pretty good, right? So we have a little bit of space, a couple cards to decide how well we want to play into this round here. Our hand is pretty good. Our hand just got a little bit better. And our hand just got perfect. Siri would have been nice here to try and flip that, but it is what it is. We still have really good fetches with Amphibious, and we know that it's probably within our best interest to see if we can take out a couple gold cards. You know, I know that whatever they want to do, they're getting around that defender, so I don't value it as much as I would in normal matchups. And of course, it goes against the Joust. I wasn't really looking at the screen at the time, so I'm just going to check what they played.
What's going on about this art fella?
And again, nothing too serious to play right here. It's really good that we saw the leader come out right then. That's really like the biggest thing for me. You know, if we can get that commitment out of the way, I don't really worry about Siri as much and all those other things later on. The only thing I'm concerned about is if they want to have a defender on melee so bad, do they have a Damien for it?
Death to the invaders!
And that's kind of one of the reasons why I'm continuing to play a little bit here. It's just because if they do have Damien, I can pass on Damien, but I want to make sure I get some good points on the board first. Let's see if we can get that card back, though, just in case. Go ahead and play that. Go ahead and play that. No respect for Yen whatsoever. We gotta just take a risk sometimes, guys. I don't think it's time for them to Yen anyways. Like, if you're gonna Yen, you're gonna wait till that gets to like 20 points, and we're way past the point of no return. So when I see a play like this come out, that tells me that we have room to go ahead and pass because we're about to miss our opportunity here. Try and buy it out for one more turn though. And whoops, did not see defender for a second there. I'm sure we've all done it before. Just wanted to greet out the shield removal, but that's fine. But realistically, I don't feel comfortable playing any further than this because we can't have Vinholm like around 20 points. It would just be ridiculous. And seeing a commitment like Anna Henrietta come down with the shields, tons of them, it just, it doesn't, I don't like the way that resonates here. Like, we're one Brothens away, we're very close to getting, you know, crept up on here and passed. So let's pass on them and get them to try and make the points. Hopefully it requires a leader charge or two in this case. Or the Yen. But a lot of tactic decks don't have Yen because you're playing so many tactic cards that you don't necessarily have room for Yen. But you never know, there's so many different versions going around. I guess that was the best coup that they had. And they probably didn't want to spend the rest of the cards that they had. So we see the commitment of all three leader charges, and at this point, you know, it was looking a little scary for a minute or two, but really those lower provision cards really held their own here, and we got tons of big commitments as a result from it. Now, I had to watch over this round a few times now, because I played it, I recorded it the first time, and now I'm doing it again. Yeah, I made like 2 mistakes in this round that I wasn't really happy with, and I'll point them out. They just weren't like optimized plays, you know, and fortunately it didn't really cost us too much from them, but it's one of those things. So the hand's really good. We have the ability to give zeal to the things that need it. We have the ability to give shield to the things that need it. So what else can you ask for? You kind of have to play this in an order where the Ciri comes out right at the perfect time.
Behold it, admire.
Reality is that which, though you believe it no more, does not go away.
Yesterday I was playing a pretty stupid deck. It was like I was trying it because I was like, do I want to make a video on this? It goes against all fundamentals of building a deck. Like I did a 30 card Colgrim on Enslave 7 because I ran into something like it on the ladder, and I don't remember what cards they had, but I just tried to like put it together for myself. And basically you're doing like a reverse clog, and you're just using Yan to sort your deck out so you pull your best cards, and you just win round 1 with a bunch of crap cards, and you know, try and play down to nothing, and then you just have this like crazy Colgrim and Letho going off that, you know, hopefully they can't stop, and you're pulling into these cards guaranteed with Yan. But I think I played one of my teammates on the ladder, and it was kind of embarrassing. Just answered everything pretty easily, so I don't think that's the way to play Colgrim. I just think it's a way to play Colgrim. I was thinking about doing a video sometime showing every way to play Colgrim, and we can vote which one's the best. I've only played Colgrim once, but you know, next time I feel like doing something like that, you know, definitely. So to go over the mistakes here, though, Selkirk should have been played maybe to the right side so that we couldn't get that removal there with the treason, and Ciri shouldn't have been given the shield. I was a little bit worried about treason on the Ciri, but again, we just gave them free points on the damn sorceress, so those two things were kind of annoying for me. Fortunately, it didn't really make a big difference here. We still would have got the win regardless, and we did. But if we're nitpicking, I would have done that to save quite a few points. And moving on to the last game of the day, this one's, it's not a complete game, but it's a good game. And we have a deck that abuses the coin, and they have a deck that abuses the coin. And now we could see who has a better time. They have more control. We have more points, I think. We should, yeah. I mean, we definitely do. It's just they have like a lot of tall punish. Like they will have an Imlerus Wrath, ways to ping off shields. They'll have Heatwave more than likely. They might have a Spores. I've seen it all, right? Kelly is gonna really be good management for the swarms, so there's lots of stuff here. And I'm just assuming it's Kelly off the go. Whenever you see Carapace, you have to assume it's probably Kelly, especially when Nilfgaard comes down first play. Now, in other matchups, when I see an engine go down and boost it with a Crystal Skull or Tactical Advantage, I want to go ahead and I want to remove that right away with a duel. However, when we're playing against Kelly, it sort of changes the way that we're thinking with this round 1 strat, because we know that there might be a line where we have to actually remove that Kelly. So it's definitely something to consider. I'm just trying to play a little bit slower here. Obviously, if they play Ciri, we have the opportunity to pass on that Ciri. Parry and Phantom, they're really starting to establish good cards for Witch's Sabbath. And that's the thing, like, we want to make sure we're playing, you know, some good cards, because if they're going to be bringing back our 3 top cards, we want to make sure that they're actually good. They're not just maybe these Kedwennies. So that's a little bit frustrating for me. They're going to be bringing back engines. We have to bring back engines too. Hence why we're playing this here. Now, the problem with this specific card into the Kelly matchup is it's just 1 ping and a Parasite away. You know, there's very easy, efficient ways to remove that or to just reset that. Hopefully you guys don't hear my stomach growling in the mic. I gotta go make breakfast after this while the video is uploading. And again, for any of you guys who actually show up at 8 AM every day to watch the videos or see if I post it, I apologize for this one being a little bit late. Trust me, it was super frustrating when I saw that the recording wasn't working. It was literally a loud humming, like just a static hum, like a really like high-pitched hum, like a bee in your ear, basically. Yeah, there you go. That's exactly what it sounds like. And Amphibious gets the banish.
Where is Sabrina?
So we go ahead, put a shield on that, because when we remove the shield, it's going to be boosting by 2, so essentially 4 points on that play. And we're in like a really good spot so far, right? We have an engine that they don't seem to have an answer to. We have a couple inexpensive cards that we can play. And we have yet to see Kelly, so... So they get that dominance back for at least now, which is going to make it so that, you know, we have to worry a little bit about those extra points of damage. I got like turkey bacon, eggs. I'm gonna do some like, there's like these paleo pancakes that are made with like coconut flour and stuff. I'm having like a Saturday morning breakfast, like a big Saturday morning breakfast. I'm on coffee number 2, but it's a small one, so we're probably gonna do like coffee number 3, you know. Big weekend vibes. And they bring out Siri with the Iroquois. That's awesome. I love it. There was some thought to actually go ahead and boost that, but then I had to double take here and say, you know what, I don't think it's worth it because we're in a position where we're winning on even here. So we got to duel out the Kelly. That's priority here. And if we're going to spend 1 liter charge to get it done, then we have to at least use it on Unsayas, right? And because we're up by so many points right here, we can actually look to potentially pass on them, depending on what they play. We don't have to go in with Keldar and do all that. We kind of want to save that for later if possible, so... And just no respect for the tempo whatsoever. So we have the ability to pass on them here, I think, because we're getting those 2 points and the series ticking down. And that's not enough to remove it. So I'm feeling pretty confident with the decision here to go, especially when the Empyrean Phantom's turned off. And the fact that there are 2 cards down, I guess they just don't think it's worth it. Getting them into round 2 card down is a reason for us to just go ahead and try and push this one all the way in 2-0. And I'm glad that we got this game, because this is exactly what the deck is designed to do. I don't love boiling oil in this matchup. I feel like it's whatever, you know? But then again, it is also not a unit. So if they do Kelly, it's one of those things where we could try to remove it. Keldar, you know, sort of plays around it, but we're not really giving them any sort of good targets. It's just they put down Defender, boiling oil sucks. You know what I mean?
It is how I punish those who irritate.
I'm deciding here if I want to take that spend. The thing is, if they go and Parasite it, which they are going to, I think I remember seeing a Parasite, then at least we get the 1 liter charge back. We have one for Keldar, we have one for our duel, so, you know, some of the damage is already done. And we can just go put that down and put a little shield on it. So the only way they'd be able to get out of the situation here with that is to heat wave it, basically, which makes it extremely annoying for them. And Kelly just is shut offline at this point. And that's where we get the pass. If you guys enjoy the video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe it. We'll see you guys tomorrow.